Episode 125. A very big disappointment. You know, there was a robbery at the wig factory. Yeah, somebody stole over 7 tons of hair. The police are combing the area. And I almost messed that one up. I should go back and fix it, but I'm not. So let's press forward. Welcome to 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, and delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Because that's about how much fuel I have in the tank. I am tired and I am ready for bed. Now, the portion of the show where I go over all my legal mumbo-jumbo boilerplate, but I don't have to because I have enslaved AI intern. Take it away, enslaved AI interns.
You're listening to the 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span.
Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
You can listen to the 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio, or through our website, 10minuteoffroad.com.
You can follow the 10 Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never TikTok.
Thank you very much. You guys are worth every penny. And let me know when you get tired of that shtick. All right. Well, I just returned home from the 2025 Toledo Jeepfest in Toledo, Ohio. The factory of Jeep, I guess, or Jeep City. Either way, been going up there for the past 4 years. Had a good time. Always have a good time. See some friends that I only see up at Toledo Jeepfest. But I gotta say, this year it was kind of disappointing. Start off by saying that it's held in downtown Toledo. It's a free event, and it's a big shindig. And you get a lot of people down there that don't have a Jeep, not even interested in a Jeep. They're just down there for the festivities, which is fine and great, you know. It's open to everybody. But all the other Jeep shows I go to, there are people, Jeep enthusiasts there, and that's like 90% of the crowd. It's kind of 50-50. There's a lot of people there that have no interest in Jeeps or off-road or anything like that. They're just there to get the free keychains and goodie bags and stuff. You know, I will say that Toledo Jeepfest, the organizers just didn't seem to have their heart into it this year. First off, Dana from Dana Axles has always been the title sponsor of the Toledo Jeepfest, or it has been the past few years I've been there. Dana dropped out from being a title sponsor. They still sponsor the event, but they're not the main sponsor. This year, the main title sponsor was Mercy Health. Yeah, the hospital. A hospital was sponsoring the Jeep Fest. And I got to tell you, it didn't stop there. There was 107 sponsors for this show. Only 12 of them that I counted was like Jeep and automotive related. You had Renewal by Anderson. The State Farm was a sponsor. There was all these sponsors that had nothing to do with Jeeping off-road. 107 people donated to get this thing going, and only 12 of them were automotive related or Jeep related. So with that in mind, went to the vendor row. 105 vendors were there this year. Yeah, and I only counted 30 that were Jeep and off-road related. And the vendors that were there, a lot of the big vendors, they used to have big displays, and they were selling product left and right, and they had tons of inventory there. I can't think. I want to say it was Easy Truck or one of these big off-road outfitters past few years had a tractor trailer there, and they were selling bumpers and tube doors and all kinds of accessories for JKs and JLs. They had other stuff there for other Jeeps, but if you bought it there, they installed it. They had tractor trailer full of bumpers and parts. They had like a NASCAR style pit crew, and you'd buy a bumper and you'd pull your Jeep around and they'd attack it like a NASCAR pit crew. They'd zip, 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 boom, boom. 10 minutes later, you're on your way with a new bumper. They installed it for free. None of that this year. They had bumpers on display, and you bought it, and they shipped it to you. The vendors there were they kind of, you could tell they kind of scaled back. And I'm talking to a few of the vendors. Friend Chris, who he's a talker, he talks to everybody, and he knows a lot of these vendors. He does guest acquisition for the Jeep Talk Show, and so he knows a lot of the vendors. And hanging out, talking with them, some of the vendors said that they're not going to do a Toledo Jeepfest next year, that it's really not worth it. The event keeps raising their booth prices, and it's really not economical, and they don't really sell a lot because there's 40,000 people coming through, but a fraction of them are Jeep people. So they're getting a lot of foot traffic, but they're not getting the sales to warrant the price of the booth and the cost of going to the event. A lot of them said the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion is a lot better event on a vendor's point of view, so they're going to skip Toledo Jeepfest and go to this Great Smoky Mountain Invasion, which is like 2 or 3 weeks after Jeepfest, so I could see that. One vendor I was talking to said that the Bantam Jeep Festival is his best event. He sells a lot, and he does a lot of sales, and the booth prices are lower, and there's just a lot of Jeep enthusiasts. And so I started looking into the Bantam Jeep Festival. It's held in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I think I'm going to put that on my list for next year. I think I'm going to try to go to it. It's the same distance to me from as Toledo Jeepfest, so I might skip Toledo Jeepfest next year and go to Bantam. Bantam comes first in June, so I'm going to go to Bantam, and then we'll see how it works out. And I might just be going to Toledo just for tradition and just to see the people that I normally don't see anywhere else. So, but if I do go, I don't think I'm going to get involved with it like I usually do. I'm just going to go up there, hit the show, and split. The inside Jeep exhibit, they have it in the Glass City Convention Center, I think is what it's called. And it's an indoor venue, and they have a lot of Jeeps on display. And a lot of people bring their Jeeps to the show. And you see a lot of prototypes and a lot of one-offs in there. And this year, it didn't seem like there was as many Jeeps in there. And it was kind of sparse. And the ones we did see were the ones I've seen for the past few years. I didn't see anything new, anything exciting. It's just, I don't know. If you've been to one Toledo Jeepfest, you've been to them all, I guess. I stayed at the base camp that they have, which is awesome. The Toledo Metro Parks let us stay in one of the parks, which is right outside of the Toledo Jeepfest, so you can just walk right to the Toledo Jeepfest. You don't have to pay for parking or anything. Enjoyed that. I believe they usually have like 12 or 14 spots, and they sell out really quick. For this year, there was a big empty space there was 5 spots were open, even though they sold out. And Epic Willie's Adventure had the spots reserved, and they didn't show up. They said they had a couple of people break down and a couple of people that just didn't want to come. So they reserved a spot. I don't know if they were comped the spot just to get them there, because if you're not familiar with Epic Willie's Adventure. It's a bunch of guys that just they race and overland and do trips in Korean War era, 1950s and down, I think. Jeeps, the old flat fenders, and these things are bare bones. They're nice Jeeps, but they're not show quality. These guys use them, and they're a hoot. We sat around a campfire and chatted with them, and we went out to dinner with them. Very nice guys. Stories, man, they got stories out the yin yang, but they had 6 or 7 spots reserved, and half of them didn't show up. Only I think 3 or 4 people showed up out of their group, and it was nice that it's put, that the base camp is put on by the Toledo Metro Parks, but even they didn't feel like they had their heart into it this year. Last year and the few years we went, they set up porta potties for us, which they did this year, and they set up hand washing stations, which they did this year, and they provided us with a couple of fire pits to share. Out of 12 spots, I think they had 3 fire pits, and they provided us with firewood. But previous years, they came through every morning and they replenished our firewood. This year, they gave us a little bit of firewood, and we had to stretch it. They didn't replenish it for us, which is no big deal, but they asked us not to bring our own firewood, but then they don't give us enough firewood. But, the joke's on them because we brought our own firewood and we ended up using it. And previous years, they gave us a fire poker to use also. This year, they didn't give us a fire poker. But in their defense, last year, somebody stole the fire poker. I don't know who would do something like that, but it kind of looks like the one that's in the back of my Jeep now. And I didn't steal it to steal it. I didn't realize it was in the fire pit, and we burnt the handle off of it, and I didn't want to get caught vandalizing it, so I just took it, if that makes sense. Okay, so some of the festivities they had a block party on Friday with a strongman competition, and they had a mud hen game to downtown. Mud Hens are their AAA baseball team. I'm not a big baseball person, so I didn't go, but a couple of people went, and they had fireworks afterwards at the stadium. Saturday we had the parade and the vendor midway and a show and shine, as well as the indoor exhibit and the overland exhibit, which was the base camp. They had guest speakers at the convention center on I think Friday and Saturday. No, I don't think Friday. I think Saturday they had guest speakers that gave speeches and stuff. And it was the same people last year. There was nothing new there. I tell you, and it was disappointing. They had a little kids zone there with a bouncy house and stuff like that for the kids, which was good. And I think they even had some radio-controlled cars for them to play with. On Saturday night, they had a concert by Graham Barham or somebody, I don't know. He was a country music singer. I'm not a big country music fan, so I don't know who the new and rising artists are, but he was there. So to wrap this up, it took me 10 hours of driving. It took me 2 days to get there. I drove like 3/4 of the way, spent the night, and then drove the last quarter to get there because I didn't want to get to base camp all tired and drawn out. It only took me 1 day to drive back. I just drove straight through. I spent about $80 in soda because there are some soda flavors up there that you can't get down here. Red cream soda is always a big one. Vernors. We can get Vernors here, but we can't get the Werner flavors. Came across a flavor called Boston Cooler, which is Vernors vanilla. Delicious. And Werner's had a black cherry that, oh my God. When I get done with this, I'm going to go grab a can of it. But anyhow, it cost me a lot of money to go to Toledo Jeepfest. And just gas alone on the beast. And all the incidentals and stuff I bought and food and stuff. Always got to go get a couple of jars of Tony Paco's sweet hot pickles to bring back to the guys at work. I don't care for them. I don't do hot and spicy too much, but These guys love them. So whenever somebody goes to Ohio, we always got to pick up some Tony Paco pickles for these guys. Who knows? Maybe I'll find something similar when I go to Bantam. That's on the other side of Ohio. It's closer to Youngstown than. So like I said, I'm going to go to Bantam next year, see how it goes. And I still might go to Toledo Jeepfest, but if I like Bantam better, I think I'm going to cut out Toledo Jeepfest. All right, so I rambled on long enough. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, wheel what you got and be happy.